Imagine waking up one morning to discover that the key to unlocking your greatest potential isn't buried in some distant treasure hunt or locked behind years of grueling effort. It's simply waiting for you in the silence of 5 a.m., daring you to seize it before the world stirs. What if that single hour could rewrite your entire story, turning chaos into clarity, despair into dominance, and ordinary days into legendary triumphs? Let me take you on a journey through the transformative world of the 5 a.m. Club, where two lost souls stumble upon an enigmatic billionaire whose secrets could change everything, not just for them, but maybe for you too. Picture this: a dimly lit conference hall buzzing with the desperate energy of people chasing success, the air thick with the scent of stale coffee and unfulfilled ambitions. Among them sits a woman, an entrepreneur teetering on the edge of collapse, her once thriving startup now crumbling under the relentless weight of cutthroat competition and mounting debts that keep her awake at night, staring at the ceiling as shadows of doubt dance across her mind. She's here as a last resort, clutching a crumpled ticket to a seminar by a legendary speaker known only as the Spellbinder, a man whose words have reportedly turned fortunes around for countless others. Beside her, by chance or perhaps some twist of fate, is an artist. A young man whose creative fire has flickered out long ago, leaving him adrift in a sea of unfulfilled dreams, rejected gallery submissions, and a pile of unpaid bills that mock his every brushstroke. As the Spellbinder takes the stage, his presence commanding the room like a storm about to break, his voice booms like thunder rolling across a vast plain, weaving intricate tales of ordinary people who rose to become legends by harnessing the untapped power of their mornings. He paints vivid pictures that come alive in the minds of the audience. Athletes shattering world records with bodies honed in the pre-dawn hush, artists birthing masterpieces from the depths of early morning inspiration, business titans building sprawling empires brick by brick, all because they claimed those quiet hours before the sun rose, turning them into sacred rituals of self-mastery. But then, in a twist that silences the room like a sudden blackout, the Spellbinder collapses mid-sentence, his body crumpling like a puppet with its strings severed, his eloquent words cut off in a gasp that echoes through the hall. Chaos erupts. Gasps ripple through the crowd like waves. Shouts of alarm fill the air. Paramedics rush in with their kits clanging, pushing through the throng to reach the fallen icon. In the midst of this pandemonium, a ragged homeless man shuffles forward from the shadows at the back, his clothes tattered and stained, but his eyes sharp and knowing, piercing through the confusion with an unsettling clarity. He kneels beside the Spellbinder, whispers something urgent into his ear, then rises and turns his gaze to the entrepreneur and the artist, who have bonded in the confusion, their hands clasped in shared shock. "Follow me," he says, his voice carrying an authority that belies his disheveled appearance, a tone that hints at hidden depths and untold stories. Intrigued and with nothing left to lose, their lives already in freefall, they exchange a glance and nod, trailing him out into the cool night air. Little do they know, this homeless man is no vagrant. He is Stone Riley, a reclusive billionaire whose vast fortune was built not on luck or inheritance, but on principles most people dismiss as impossible, principles he guards like precious artifacts from a forgotten era. As they huddle in a nearby cafe, the fluorescent lights buzzing overhead and the aroma of fresh-brewed coffee mingling with the faint scent of rain on the pavement outside, Riley pulls out a small device and plays a recording of the Spellbinder's interrupted speech, his own additions slipping in like hidden gems scattered throughout the narrative. He speaks of leadership not as a lofty title bestowed by others, but as a fire ignited from within, a commitment to serving those around you, to making a tangible difference right where you stand, whether in a boardroom or on a street corner. True leaders, he says, leaning forward with a sparkle in his eye that betrays his billionaire status, don't chase applause or accolades. They ignite possibilities in those around them, fanning flames of potential that others might never see. The entrepreneur feels a spark ignite in her chest, a faint warmth cutting through the chill of her failures. The artist, too, senses a flicker of inspiration, like a long dormant ember stirring to life. Riley challenges them directly, his words probing like a surgeon's scalpel. What if your mornings weren't just a frantic scramble to survive the day ahead, but a deliberate, intentional ritual designed to help you thrive, to elevate your every action? He invites them to step into his private world, promising to reveal the habits that transformed him from a struggling nobody, once broke and broken-hearted, into a force of nature who commands industries and inspires legions. Skeptical yet utterly captivated, their curiosity overriding their doubts, they board his sleek private jet, embarking on a globe-trotting adventure that blends opulent luxury with life-altering lessons. Each destination a chapter in their unfolding transformation. Their first stop, the sun-kissed shores of Mauritius, where turquoise waves lap gently against powdery white sands, and the air hums with the vibrant possibility of new beginnings, palm fronds swaying in the tropical breeze like welcoming arms. Here, amid this paradise that feels worlds away from their troubles, Riley unveils the very foundation of his philosophy, the 5 a.m. Club. It's not merely about waking early for the sake of it. He explains as they stroll barefoot along the beach at dawn, the first rays of sun painting the sky in hues of pink and gold. It's about owning that sacred hour to elevate every aspect of your life, to reclaim control from the chaos that engulfs most people as soon as they open their eyes. He hands them ancient-looking stone tablets, symbolic replicas etched with 5 timeless rules that have guided him through storms. Prepare relentlessly for the battles ahead. Excuse nothing and take full ownership of your path. Be relentless in your pursuit of excellence even when the world pushes back. Honor your commitments to yourself and others as sacred vows. And remember that every day is a fresh chance to begin anew, wiping the slate clean of yesterday's missteps. As they walk the beach, the soft sand shifting underfoot and the ocean's rhythm providing a soothing backdrop, Riley delves into the science behind it all. Your brain, he says, gesturing expansively to the rising sun as if it were a living entity, is most primed in these quiet moments before the world's demands crash in. Distractions haven't invaded yet. No incessant emails pinging. No social media notifications clamoring for attention. No household chaos unfolding. This is when you enter the flow state, that magical zone where creativity surges unchecked and focus sharpens like a finely honed blade, allowing ideas to flow as freely as the waves before us. The entrepreneur recalls her own sleepless nights, tossing and turning in a tangle of sheets as worries piled up like unpaid invoices, her mind a whirlwind of what-ifs and regrets. But how do I even start? She asks, her voice tentative, laced with the vulnerability of someone who's tried and failed too many times. Riley smiles warmly, his eyes crinkling at the corners, and responds, "It begins with understanding and nurturing your 4 interior empires, the invisible kingdoms that rule your outer world." He kneels and draws intricate diagrams in the damp sand. Mindset, the realm of your thoughts and beliefs, where limiting stories can either chain you down or set you free. Heartset, your emotional world, the landscape of feelings that color every decision and interaction. Healthset, your physical vitality, the engine that powers your ambitions, and soulset, your spiritual essence, the deep well of purpose that connects you to something greater. Neglect any one of these, he warns, his tone grave as the waves crash nearby, and your entire empire crumbles like a sandcastle at high tide. But nurture them deliberately at 5 a.m., and you build a fortress impervious to life's tempests. They practice together in those early hours, simple, deep breaths in the cool morning air that fills their lungs with freshness, journaling thoughts that once poisoned their minds now released onto paper like exorcised demons. The artist sketches the scene with renewed vigor, his hands steady for the first time in months, feeling a profound warmth in his heartset as gratitude slowly replaces the resentment that had festered for so long, like vines, overtaking a neglected garden. As the days unfold on this idyllic island, with lazy afternoons spent lounging under swaying palms and evenings filled with starlit conversations, Riley dives deeper into the essence of true success. Success isn't some stroke of luck or a random gift from the universe. He declares over a picnic spread out on a checkered blanket, fresh tropical fruits glistening in the sunlight and the distant call of exotic birds punctuating his words. It's a precise formula, repeatable and reliable. He outlines the 3-step success formula with the enthusiasm of a master teacher. Better awareness leads to better choices, which in turn forge better results, creating a virtuous cycle that propels you forward. Most people drift through life unaware, trapped in autopilot mode, reacting rather than creating. He says, his gaze intense, but awareness? That's the spark that lights the fuse, illuminating the blind spots where opportunities hide. He shares captivating stories of history makers who've mastered 4 key focuses that amplify this formula. Capitalization IQ, the art of unleashing your innate talents and genius rather than squandering them on mediocrity. Freedom from distraction, guarding your attention like a priceless treasure against the thieves of modern life. Endless scrolls, trivial notifications, and energy-draining habits. Personal mastery practice, committing to daily rituals that polish your skills to a brilliant shine, turning potential into prowess. And day stacking, the powerful concept of layering small, consistent wins into monumental achievements, much like stacking bricks one by one to erect a towering cathedral that stands the test of time. Imagine, he urges them, stacking your days with intention. One early morning workout that builds resilience, one moment of deep reflection that clarifies vision, compounding over weeks, months, and years into an unbreakable strength that no setback can shatter. The group bonds deeply over these revelations, their laughter echoing across the beach as they share vulnerabilities around a crackling bonfire, flames dancing like spirits in the night. The entrepreneur admits her paralyzing fear of failure, how it whispers doubts in her ear during every bold move. The artist opens up about his creative blocks, those invisible walls that have stifled his imagination for far too long. Riley nods knowingly, his face illuminated by the fire's glow, and responds, "Failure isn't the enemy. It's your greatest teacher," often dressed in the wolf's clothing of disappointment and pain. He encourages them to embrace voluntary discomfort as a deliberate practice. Cold showers that jolt the system and build mental grit, intermittent fasting that sharpens focus and echoes the survival instincts of our ancient ancestors who thrived on scarcity. Comfort zones are beautiful graves where dreams go to die peacefully. He quips with a chuckle, sparking a round of thoughtful nods. As they watch the sunset paint the horizon in fiery oranges and purples, a profound question hangs in the air like the lingering smoke from the fire. What if embracing discomfort wasn't a punishment, but the ultimate shortcut to freedom, a way to forge a life of resilience and joy? From the serene beaches of Mauritius, they jet off to the ancient wonders of Agra, India, where the majestic Taj Mahal stands eternal as a testament to enduring vision and love, its white marble domes gleaming under the relentless sun like a beacon of human achievement. Here, amidst the bustling markets filled with the spicy aromas of street food and the colorful chaos of rickshaws weaving through crowds, Riley introduces the habit installation protocol, a meticulous 66-day blueprint designed to wire new behaviors deep into your brain's neural pathways, turning fleeting intentions into automatic actions. It's not magic or mysticism, he explains as they stand in the shadow of the monument, the intricate carvings telling stories of patience and precision. It's pure neuroplasticity, the brain's remarkable ability to rewire itself through consistent effort. He breaks it down phase by phase, his voice rising above the distant calls of vendors. Phase 1, destruction, those grueling first 22 days where old habits shatter like fragile glass. Your comfort-seeking brain rebels, making every step feel like wading through molasses. The entrepreneur winces, her mind flashing back to failed diets and abandoned gym memberships that ended in self-recrimination. Phase 2, installation. Another 22 days of messiness and upheaval, where doubt creeps in like shadows at dusk, testing your resolve with whispers of why bother? The artist nods empathetically, recalling his own half-hearted attempts at discipline that fizzled out amid excuses. But push through to phase 3, integration, the final 22 days where it all clicks seamlessly, and the habit becomes as natural as breathing, embedded in your very identity. They put this protocol to the test in the shadow of the Taj, rising at 5 a.m. each day to confront their resistances head-on, the cool morning air carrying the faint scent of jasmine from nearby gardens. Riley warns them of the internal battles ahead. Your ancient brain, wired for survival in a world of scarcity, will scream for the familiar. Stay in bed where it's warm. Check your phone for that dopamine hit. But your mastery brain, the evolved part that dreams big, knows better and craves growth. He weaves in tales of titans who've conquered this very process. Musicians composing symphonies in the hush of dawn after months of disciplined practice. Athletes training relentlessly when the world still slumbers, their bodies adapting and strengthening with each sunrise. Consistency trumps intensity every time, he emphasizes, his words echoing off the marble walls. As they meditate by the serene, reflecting pools, the water mirroring the Taj's perfection. The group feels the subtle shift, a quiet transformation beginning, like a seed breaking through soil, roots digging deep for nourishment. The adventure then sweeps them to Rome, the eternal city where history whispers from every weathered cobblestone and ancient ruin. The air alive with the aroma of fresh-baked bread and espresso from corner cafes. Over scoops of creamy gelato in a sun-drenched piazza, surrounded by the chatter of locals and the distant peal of church bells, Riley unveils the beating heart of the 5 a.m. club. The 20/20/20 formula, a structured blueprint for what he calls your victory hour, that golden window from 5 to 6 a.m. This is where the magic happens, he declares, his enthusiasm infectious as pigeons flutter nearby. Divide it into 3 potent pockets, each 20 minutes long, to supercharge your day. First, move 20 minutes of intense exercise to get the blood pumping. Sweat out the stress accumulated from yesterday. Flood your system with feel-good chemicals like dopamine and serotonin, while slashing cortisol levels that keep you wired and weary. Release BDNF, that miracle-grow fertilizer for your brain cells, building new neural connections that enhance learning and memory. They jog through the ancient ruins of the Forum, hearts pounding in rhythm with their footsteps, minds clearing as the endorphins surge, the city's timeless stones bearing witness to their awakening. Feel that rush? Riley asks, breathless but beaming. That's your inner energy igniting, ready to conquer whatever lies ahead. Next comes Reflect, 20 minutes dedicated to introspection and inner work. Journal your wins from the day before, no matter how small, to build momentum. Plan your day with crystal clarity. Meditate on gratitude to shift your heart set from scarcity to abundance. The entrepreneur writes furiously in her notebook, unearthing buried dreams and aspirations that had been overshadowed by daily grind. Her pen flying across the pages as revelations pour out. This practice quiets the mental chatter that plagues us all, Riley explains, his voice soft amid the morning quiet. Aligning your emotional world with a deeper purpose, fostering resilience against the inevitable storms. Finally, grow 20 minutes immersed in learning and expansion. Devour books on your craft. Listen to podcasts from visionaries. Study the strategies of the greats who've walked before you. Triple your investment in self-mastery, and watch your impact on the world soar exponentially. The artist devours a tome on creative techniques, ideas blooming in his mind like the fountains of Rome spraying water skyward in joyful arcs, his imagination reignited after years of dormancy. But Riley is quick to stress the importance of balance in this pursuit, lest they burn out in their zeal. Don't sacrifice sleep in the name of productivity, he cautions as they sip strong Italian coffee, the bitter richness grounding their conversation. Aim for at least 7.5 hours, 5 full sleep cycles, to allow your body to repair and recharge. Create a pre-bed ritual to signal winding down. Dim the lights at 7 p.m. to mimic the natural sunset. Banish screens that bombard your eyes with blue light disrupting melatonin. Indulge in a warm bath, scented with lavender to soothe the senses, and reflect on the day's joys and lessons learned. He delves into the science with the precision of a scholar. Deep sleep stages boost human growth hormone for tissue repair, consolidate memories for sharper recall, and prime your physiology for the dawn ritual. Sleep isn't a sign of laziness. It's a strategic weapon in your arsenal, he asserts, drawing parallels to the gladiators of old who rested as fiercely as they fought. As they wander the imposing Colosseum, its arched walls standing as a monument to human endurance, Riley poses thought-provoking questions. How might honoring your rest transform your waking hours? What battles in your life could be won through better preparation in the quiet of night? In the bustling streets of Rome, alive with scooters zipping by and vendors hawking souvenirs, Riley layers on even more depth with the 10 tactics of lifelong genius. Practical tools to amplify the victory hour and embed genius-level performance into everyday life. These aren't abstract theories, he says. gesturing animatedly as they navigate the crowds. They're battle-tested strategies to elevate you from good to legendary. Tactic 1. The tight bubble of total focus. Create a sacred, distraction-free zone for your most important work, shielding your attention from the constant barrage of modern interruptions like social media pings or unnecessary meetings, allowing genius to flourish in uninterrupted flow. He describes it vividly. Imagine a protective bubble where ideas can expand without popping. Tactic 2. The 90/90/1 rule. Dedicate the first 90 minutes of your workday, for 90 consecutive days, to your single most vital project, pouring undivided energy into it before the day's distractions dilute your focus. Picture the entrepreneur applying this to her business revival, breakthroughs cascading like dominoes as her vision crystallizes. Tactic 3. The 60-10 method. Work in concentrated 60-minute bursts of deep immersion, followed by 10 minutes of recharge through stretching, deep breathing, or a quick walk, mimicking the natural ultradian rhythms of the human body for sustained productivity without burnout. The artist envisions his studio sessions transformed, creativity flowing in waves rather than sputtering fits. Tactic 4. The daily 5. Each morning, list 5 micro-accomplishments you aim to achieve that day. Small wins that build momentum and a sense of progress, turning overwhelming goals into bite-sized triumphs. Tactic 5. The second wind workout. End your day with a burst of movement, like a brisk evening walk through nature's embrace, to release accumulated tension and prepare for restorative sleep. Tactic 6. The 2 massage protocol. Schedule 2 professional massages weekly, not as luxury but as essential recovery, easing muscular knots and promoting circulation for peak physical and mental performance. Tactic 7. Traffic University. Transform mundane commutes or waiting times into opportunities for growth by listening to audiobooks or educational podcasts, turning dead time into alive learning. Tactic 8. The Dream Team Technique. Curate your inner circle carefully, surrounding yourself with uplifters who inspire and challenge you, rather than energy vampires who drain your spirit. Tactic 9. The Weekly Design System. Dedicate time every Sunday to mapping out your week ahead, scheduling not just tasks but also joy, rest, and reflection to create a balanced blueprint. And Tactic 10. The 60-minute student. Carve out 1 uninterrupted hour each week for deep, focused study on a subject that expands your horizons. Whether it's a new skill, philosophy, or industry trend, these tactics aren't mere lists. They're lifelines, woven seamlessly into their daily conversations as they sip robust espresso in quaint cafes. Riley posing questions that linger long after. What distractions are stealthily stealing your genius right now? How might 1 focused hour each day reshape the trajectory of your entire destiny? Imagine the compound effect over a lifetime. What legacy would you build? Their final leg of this epic journey takes them to the rugged landscapes of South Africa, specifically to Robben Island, a stark, windswept outpost where Nelson Mandela was imprisoned for decades, now transformed into a powerful symbol of resilience, forgiveness, and unbreakable human spirit. Here, amid the crashing waves and the haunting remnants of barred cells, Riley reveals the twin cycles of elite performance. Alternating between high excellence cycles, periods of intense output and peak productivity where you push boundaries and achieve at your highest level, and deep recovery cycles, essential phases of rest, rejuvenation, and play to recharge your batteries and prevent the dreaded burnout that claims so many ambitious souls. Burnout isn't a badge of honor or a sign of dedication, he says solemnly, standing where Mandela once forged his indomitable will through quiet reflection and study. It's a warning that you've ignored the natural rhythms of life. Alternate your intensity with moments of pure joy. Pursue hobbies that light you up. Immerse in nature's healing embrace. Nurture relationships with loved ones who ground you. He speaks passionately of forgiveness as the ultimate tool of leadership. Harbor grudges and resentments, and you imprison yourself in a cell of your own making, just as surely as these walls once confined great men. Release them, and you free your energy for creation rather than destruction. The group spends reflective days exploring the island's history, walking the paths Mandela trod, absorbing lessons of perseverance that mirror their own journeys. They discuss past hurts in hushed tones, the entrepreneur's betrayals in business partnerships, the artist's rejections that scarred his soul, and practice releasing them like birds set free to the vast ocean sky, feeling lighter with each confession. Riley shares personal anecdotes from his rise. The early failures that nearly broke him, the mentors who believed when he didn't, the mornings that saved him from despair. As the sun sets over the Atlantic, casting long shadows across the rocky terrain, they ponder the profound interplay of effort and ease, wondering how these cycles could redefine their lives back home. 5 years later, in a full-circle moment that feels scripted by destiny itself, the entrepreneur and the artist reunite at that same conference hall where their adventure began, now transformed into confident, fulfilled versions of themselves. She's built a thriving empire that impacts thousands, but she values inner peace and meaningful connections over mere profit margins. Her mornings still sacred anchors in a busy world. He's created art that moves millions, exhibited in galleries worldwide. Yet he cherishes the quiet dawn hours where his true inspiration flows unchecked. They toast to Stone Riley and the Spellbinder, whose lessons have endured through trials and triumphs, woven into the fabric of their beings like threads in a tapestry. And so, dear listener, as our tale winds down like a river reaching the sea, consider this. The 5 a.m. Club isn't just a routine or a fleeting trend. It's a profound revolution, a clarion call to own your mornings and thereby elevate the entirety of your existence. In that golden hour, you cultivate your mindset to think boldly, your heart set to feel deeply, your health set to move vibrantly, and your soul set to connect spiritually. You stack your days with intentional wins that compound into a destiny of your design. You forge habits that outlast fleeting doubts and external chaos. But the real magic, the transformative alchemy, lies not in knowing these secrets, but in the doing, in rising when the world sleeps, in committing when comfort beckons otherwise. What if tomorrow, at precisely 5 a.m., you rose not out of sheer obligation or fleeting motivation, but as an invitation to a life brimming with profound purpose, unshakable resilience, and boundless potential? Will you answer that call, setting your alarm with intention and stepping into the dawn with open arms? Ponder that as the first light creeps over the horizon. Let it stir something deep within your core, awakening the legend that slumbers inside you. Your extraordinary life awaits, just beyond the threshold of that early hour. Dare to claim it,